My name is Rich Krejsa. I joined the military in March of 1966. I was going to college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do if I ever grew up. And after a year, I decided I was wasting my time and my folks' money. But I knew if I dropped out, I was going to get drafted and go to Vietnam. So I decided I was going to outsmart the military. So when I dropped out, I enlisted in the Air Force. My first real assignment was in the Philippines. Back in the States, people were saying we need to be in Vietnam. Others were saying, no, we don't need to be in Vietnam. I didn't know who to believe, and I decided I need to find out for myself. My job basically was to copy their transmissions for analysis. We identified enemy targets and their location and let the powers that be know where they were to help save our people on the ground. Only in rare cases would we see some sort of outcome. Most of the time we didn't know the result of our work. Mike, one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet. He and I served together in the Philippines, and then he came to Vietnam after I was already there, and he was assigned to our squadron. We flew together several times. I left in August of '69, and in October, he was shot down and killed. It was suggested before we left Vietnam, before we got on the flight, that we change into civilian clothes. At the time, I'm wondering, well, why? Why not travel in our uniforms? And then when we landed and got off the plane, I could see why they suggested that. But with our haircut, it was sort of obvious that we were military. I was called names. I was called a baby killer. Because of my job, it was highly classified. And I was instructed when I got out I could not tell anyone, even immediate family, what I had done. I couldn't tell them for at least 10 years, so I had to keep that inside. If someone asked about my military service, I would tell them where I was stationed, and I knew Morse code at the time, but it didn't go beyond that. I didn't give it much thought. I was home. I needed to find a job. I needed to get my life back in order. And so I didn't think about it much. I go through bouts of depression. I have been diagnosed with PTSD. What was the pivotal moment when my feelings started to change? Being contacted out of the blue from someone that I served with in the Philippines. And he said, there is a reunion, if you will, coming up, and I think you should go. And I'm going, no, I don't need to go. I don't want to think about it or anything. He talked me into going. They caused me to open up a little bit at a time. My best friend over there, Tracy, looked like a surfer dude almost, but he and I went on R&R together, and we just hit it off. At our reunion in 2018, it was the first time 6 of us that were stationed together in Vietnam where we had been together in over 50 years. It was like we had never been apart. We were the crazy people we were back then. My wife and I have been married 45 years, and she didn't know me then, and it took close to 40 years for her to find out what was going on inside me, because I'd never volunteered the information, if you will. But being around other veterans make me want to open up more. At the time, it was hate the war, hate the military. And now it's changed to maybe hate the war but love the military. And seeing that pendulum swing back, it's a wonderful feeling. Makes me proud for what I did. My wife and I were on a vacation, and we flew back, and we were stuck in Dallas airport for a couple hours. And this lady comes over and says, "Would you mind coming over this gate?" She said, "We have veterans coming back from deployment in Iraq, Afghanistan, and we just want to welcome them home." And it made me feel good. Marching in our chapter's first Veterans Day parade in downtown Franklin, we had a banner with our chapter information on it that we were carrying. People were lining both sides of the street. You couldn't see the front of the stores, but they saw our banner and they cheered. And one of the guys in our chapter said he didn't want to march. Yeah, it didn't mean anything to him, but I talked him into it. And we're halfway down the first block, and he pokes me and he said, "I've been waiting for my parade for 40 years. He said, "This is it." I have started a website for our squadron. I'm the proud president of Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1140 in Franklin, Tennessee, meeting these vets, talking to them. There's a bond there that you feel that you cannot describe to anyone that was not in the military. That keeps me going. And people come up and say, "Thank you for your service." And I appreciate that, but sometimes it's just like a casual type thing, like, "Have a nice day." But when you told us about this event, honoring Vietnam veterans, I can feel that you really mean it, and I'm planning on being there.